many years of engaging challenges to Christianity, studying the issues, rubbing shoulders with brilliant people, alive or dead, rubbing shoulders, metaphorically speaking, and learning from them, I've come to the conclusion that the toughest challenges to my point of view as a follower of Christ are not external challenges regarding the truthfulness of Christianity, the apologetics in general, but they're internal theological challenges. The toughest issues are theological. And the toughest one for me to deal with is the subject of the question today, and that is, how is it that God can punish eternally those who rebel against him when fallenness was something they were born with? Now, that we are born with fallenness, the sin nature of man, original sin, there are different ways to describe it, is a feature of orthodoxy. All Orthodox Christian denominations, groups, hold to original sin and its impact on us in life. That we fell in Adam in some sense, and there are different ways of characterizing that. But I'll tell you something, I know the ways of characterizing it. None of them deeply satisfy me intellectually. And this is a question that I continue to grapple with and that I have not come up with a satisfactory answer for. And you're thinking, well, why is he then answering a question by not answering the question? He doesn't know the answer to. It's to let you know that there are some things that are so deep and so difficult and so profound, so beyond us, that even after years and years and years of thinking about this, and many others have, I still don't have an answer. We have this genuine intuition that ought implies can. If I ought to do it, then I should be able to do it if I chose to. And I think, generally speaking, that this is sound, but when I go to the Scripture, it doesn't seem to always apply. Because in the Old Testament, there are sins that are committed that are presumptuous sins. People commit them unintentionally, and there are still sacrifices for them. Even the sin that was committed unintentionally still had to be atoned for. And seems to me good doctrine teaches that we are responsible for our crimes and rebellion against God, even though we are born into that disposition. And I know, especially if you're in America and you're saying, that's not fair. I understand the impulse, but I can't fix that. All I can do is tell you what the text says. And what God has communicated regarding us is that we are utterly fallen. David said in Psalm 51, in sin my mother conceived me. And so he was, in his confession there in that psalm, of his own crimes against God, murder and adultery in that particular case, he acknowledged that it wasn't just that. It was something deep and profound that went beyond the actions. It was grounded in the kind of being he found himself to be. And he wrote, you desire truth in the innermost being. And I think this is part of the truth that he was talking about. We are completely and utterly fallen. And even though that doesn't seem fair, and I understand that and I sympathize that, it's still the way it is, which means we must throw ourselves completely upon the mercy of God to rescue us from ourselves, not just from individual actions, but from that deep and profound rebellion that is at the root of fallen human nature. And that's the best answer that I can give.